coordinators should not solely rely on data from Inmarsat, because so far that's basically the only piece of data they're relying on. So do you think we should question that and the searchers should not just rely on Inmarsat alone?
Well, I think now it's too late. I mean, it's 100 days is just too late. I mean, I go back to where I always say the critical things, the critical facts were the first 4 hours. And once we miss that little window, say up to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, then it is just impossible. So in many ways, looking at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on Saturday morning and today, 100 days later, and 2 years forward is about the same. You are looking not for a needle in a haystack, you're looking for a haystack. So it is just impossible to discover it. And whether Inmarsat is right or not, I think that is so technical, and that's where I would be critical of the Prime Minister. In many ways, the Prime Minister is like all of us in the room. We are lay persons insofar as the Inmarsat technical advice is going to be, because it is very high-powered science and scientific stuff and sound audio, which probably nobody in Malaysia understands, or Malaysia's cleverest physicist in our university, if there is such a person. So it is lay people like us listening to these experts and then making a judgment call. Very dangerous. Dangerous to do. And when they ask the human reaction should be, no, can we wait please? Can we listen to other people? Why am I listening to only you? Can I get 25 other experts? There was no need to rush and choose Inmarsat. And of course, as I said, they benefited. They got free publicity.
One last question. The amount of money spent on searching, who is going to pay?
Yeah, it will be paid by our Malaysian government and taxpayer. Answering the questions about the Inmarsat, should we rely only on Inmarsat, like what I have shown you just now. Indonesian air defense radar didn't detect MH370. Did they put into account this technical data also? If they really have checked their raw data, Indonesian air defense radar also, I think they can eliminate the possibility that MH370 flew to south of Indian Ocean.
But can we trust the Indonesian radar?
That is why they have to form out what national technical team to evaluate.
I'm cynical about I rate their radar as much as I rate our radar.
Yeah, not only Indonesian, including Indian also.
But India, I think because they're scared of Pakistan, they may be more but Thailand has picked up. Thailand said very early on. My memory is Thailand said it went below. The Thai radar picked up.
I'm from Free Malaysia today. I want to ask is that Hisham Budi proudly said that the first phase is 27.6 million spent only, and it's the lowest. What's your comments regarding his statement?
Well, finally, that's only 3 phase. First phase, we are now in the 3rd phase already. And he said that the other countries will bear the separate costs. Whether they will or not is to be seen. Whether there will be a political will to continue to spend money is a big question mark, because finally there's you don't have the political will and everybody is not prepared to chip in. Then where do we stand? You know, it's Malaysia that will have to bear the brunt of it, and I think that is a big question mark lah. Why we put ourselves in that position of a bottomless pit of expenditure?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here I will ask the question. My name is Arasu. Okay. My questions, number one is to Mr. Lam. Would you mind showing the slide on the Air France rescue effort? Because you did mention something about MAS there, you know. Not here, not here. Okay, okay. Not this, I think the next one. No, no, no. Right. You see, here you mentioned about responsibility taken by Brazilian Air Traffic Control as well as Dhaka ATC. But for the MAS case, you mentioned about Malaysia Airlines. I wonder why, in this case, you are talking about ATC, but for MH370, you pinpointing it to Malaysia Airlines. I just wonder why. There's a difference, you know. Here is a control authority, air traffic control, you mentioned, but in another slide, you did mention that MAS was slow. I just want to know, why are you talking about an airline that is slow, whereas in this case, you talk about air traffic control taking charge? That's my first question. Right? Next one, I want everyone here to understand, aviation industry is a very highly regulated industry. Every aspect of its operation is documented. I'm just going to touch on cargo operations. Cargo operations. When an aircraft, before it takes off to another country, every content of it is not only known to the at the departure point, but the receiving side also will know. So for us to continue believing that there was 2,900 kilos of unidentified cargo, we cannot accept it. All I'm trying to say is, especially members of the public and in particular media, please do your research to find out how airline industry functions. It's highly regulated. There is no way we can have cargo that is not identified. Because if such a thing happens, you know what is the implication? An airline flies over so many countries. You think those countries will allow an airline to fly with unidentified cargo? It won't. So there is no way we should accept unidentified cargo, 2,900 kgs. And please, again, don't fault the airline. In a situation like this, the airline has a responsibility to forward all information to the head of investigation. And who is the head of investigation in this case? Mr. Lam, you can tell me?
You mean the international technical?
No. I'm talking about this case. Who is the head of investigation? It is not the airline, but who? Yes. It's the government authority. Don't say DCA. It's a government authority. The airline has a responsibility to share all information with the investigating authority. Okay, that's point number one. Number two, whoever seeks information, don't knock the doors of the airline. Because the airline is only responsible to the family members of those who are missing, the next of kin. So if we don't understand this role clearly, we are knocking the doors of the airline and putting a lot of pressure on them, whereas the investigating authority, which has all the information, is sitting back, enjoying the fun. That shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't be the case. All information about cargo, I'm just giving a suggestion to everyone who seems to have international contacts. Why don't you all ask Beijing, hey, don't you know what the contents were? I'll tell you why. Before a flight leaves here to US, the US already knows who are the passengers, what is in the cargo. I'm sure you know, Mr. Lam. And why are we still looking for answers? What about the unidentified cargo? We should be able to get the answer. And we should pressure the government. Now, incidentally, do you all remember after the MH370, who went to China? Even when the Sultan died, came back and then fly back again, you know. What actually happened? Was it just for pandas? We should actually ask all these questions, you know. Now, I'm just going one more step further. Whenever China says something, that they have detected something, the other axis, Australia, UK and US, they are very quick to say, hey, no. Do you all realize this or not? China is on the other side trying to find out, and here on the other side, these English-speaking nations are saying, no, you're wrong. Something is terribly wrong here. And I feel that it has got to do with the consignment of cargo, which is still not identified. So let's put our hearts and minds together to find out what exactly is going on here. Don't tell me in a highly regulated environment, we still don't know what the cargo is, or we still can't force the information out of the investigating authority.
But Mr. Arun, that is part of the things that's deleted.
No. It cannot be deleted. Beijing cannot delete it, sir. You can delete it in your system here in Malaysia. Try that with US. You can delete it here, but the US fellows will have it.
It's part of the Malaysian deleted document.
Yes, Malaysia can delete it and say, I don't know. But what about the receiving end? This is very, very important, you know. We seem to be just exploring within Malaysia, but we are not contacting the authorities the other side because they are very equally frustrated. But they should be able to tell also, but you need to go through the proper channels to find out. Okay, I'm giving all this information, ladies and gentlemen. I was in Malaysia Airlines for 34 years. I was dealing with crisis and management. And BBC contacted me at around 8 o'clock in the morning on the 8th to ask me for my views. And I told them, sorry guys, I'm no more there. But actually they wanted my own opinion about it. The only thing I did was, I told Bernama subsequently, because Bernama was asking me, why is it's so difficult to get information from Malaysia Airlines? I said, sorry, they don't owe you any information. They have to give the information to the family members. You contact the investigating authority. I had to tell them that. Okay? So, you have some ideas how we can proceed on the cargo matter? Because that is a missing link here. You can talk about everything, flight plans, blah, blah, blah. Cargo, still not resolved yet. That could be the missing link, my opinion.
Any other questions from the floor? The gentleman here asked a question first. I'll come back to you.
Alright, my name is Tarmizian Wang. Sorry, I just want to ask you one question. Do you think this accident had impact our domestic political conditions? Because we can see the current government act like the savior for our country for this case. But